in and of itself, especially with new threats coming from North Korea. But he is also bringing along with him quite a bit of political baggage as well. Today, there are new developments on several fronts in the Russia investigation. The president says that he doesn't remember much about that key campaign meeting where a meeting with Putin was floated, but now new pushback against that from a Trump campaign advisor. And another person that doesn't remember, Jeff Sessions, and another person that says that he did talk to Sessions about making contact with Russia, another foreign policy advisor for the Trump campaign. This time it's Carter Page, who was under oath speaking to the House Intelligence Committee. Are you starting to sense a theme here? A lot to get to today, so let's do it. CNN's Jessica Schneider, she has the very latest on the Russia investigation, but I want to start over at the White House right now. Joe Johns is there. Joe, the president's heading off on this monster trip to Asia, but he had quite a bit to say before he left.
He certainly did. He talked about ISIS, he talked about the FBI, he talked about the need for the Justice Department to investigate Hillary Clinton. Somewhat all over the place, but when you take his departure statements along with his tweets early this morning, it seemed as though the president was trying to get everything in before he left for Asia. Of the big themes, probably the most important thing the president talked about this morning was the Russia investigation, including indicating that he saw his meeting with others and with George Papadopoulos, the foreign policy advisor who has since pleaded guilty for false statements in the Russia investigation. He saw that meeting as unimportant, said he didn't remember it very well. And also in departure, I did ask the president if he stood by his statement that no one with the campaign had had contacts with Russia. So listen to what the president had to say before he left.
I don't remember much about that meeting. It was a very unimportant meeting, took place a long time. Don't remember much about it. All I can tell you is this. There was no collusion. There was no nothing. It's a disgrace, frankly, that they continue. You ought to look at Hillary Clinton, and you ought to look at the new book that was just put out by Donna Brazile, where she basically bought the DNC and she stole the election from Bernie. So that's what you ought to take a look at.
So the president hit that very, very hard on departure, and I got to say also, even apparently in the air, if it is indeed the president and not perhaps, say, Dan Scavino, who sometimes tweets for the president and might be on the ground, he continued tweeting once he left Joint Base Andrews on the first leg of this trip, talking about Donna Brazile, who's just written this new book stating the DNC rigged the system illegally in the primary and so on, and on talking about Bernie Sanders. So more of that. And it's very interesting, Kate, that while this could be deemed irrelevant by many, given the fact that Hillary Clinton is the person he beat in the election, he continues to push the drumbeat on the need for an investigation into her and all of that. Back to you.
Well, let's see what the Twitter feed brings us while this trip begins. Great to see you, Joe. Thank you so much. Let's drill down more on the Russia investigation and all the new threads that are coming through today. CNN's Jessica Schneider. Hello, everyone. I'm Kate Baldwin. Happening right now, wheels up for Air Force One. President Trump on his way to Asia, kicking off the longest foreign trip of his presidency and the longest foreign trip for any sitting president since George H.W. Bush. Hugely consequential in and of itself, especially with new threats coming from North Korea. But he is also bringing along with him quite a bit of political baggage as well. Today, there are new developments on several fronts in the Russia investigation. The president says that he doesn't remember much about that key campaign meeting where a meeting with Putin was floated, but now new pushback against that from a Trump campaign advisor. And another person that doesn't remember, Jeff Sessions, and another person that says that he did talk to Sessions about